Hello and welcome to my channel. As we're approaching the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, I thought I'd paint up the 13th Doctor and TARDIS set from Warlord Games. These are no longer available on their website as they didn't renew their license from 2023. So in this set we have a really well detailed metal miniature of the 13th Doctor. We also have a couple of plastic bases so we can stick onto one of them, and this should help stop her from falling over. And lastly we have the TARDIS itself, and this has been cast in resin. The light on top is a bit wonky, but after I applied some heat I straightened that out. Nice to see some additional detail carved into the base as well as underneath, so we know exactly what year this was cast. I'm just mixing up some green stuff so I can blend the bases together. Off camera I use a sculpting tool to blend it into all the crevices. It doesn't need to be perfectly flat and smooth, as I want it to look like she's at an outdoor location. The TARDIS just needs a little bit of clean up, plus the base was a little bit uneven so it needed sanding down. And after that I can get on with priming them both. This is an essential stage as it helps the paint adhere to the model, as well as helping it to prevent flaking as time goes by. I'm mainly going to concentrate on the TARDIS first, so I'll paint that blue. And while that's drying I'll paint the flashed areas on the 13th Doctor, as well as give it a fresh wash to help add some tones. Then I can put her to one side while I complete the TARDIS. There's a lot of fine white details to add in this, so paint on the sign and the windows. With the windows I'm not going to be too neat at this stage, as it's much easier to paint the white over the window frames than I'll paint the window frame back in later. So basically I'm building things up in layers, and trying to keep my hands as steady as possible. I paint the window frame back in. The results aren't perfect, but it's close enough. I then moved on to painting the light fitting, and once again this requires quite a bit of accuracy. The police call box signs are painted black on all four sides, and while I'm still using the black I dry brush the raised lettering on the notice. Although on the 13th Doctor TARDIS this is inverted, but for me I wanted the traditional look, so that I can still use the same TARDIS with the other Doctors. And now I can paint the raised lettering on the police call box sign in white, and I can neaten up the edges with a few drops of panel liner. I painted the handles and the keyhole in silver, and that's the last of the fine details to be done. And now I want the TARDIS to look a little bit weathered, so I'll brush on some brown wash over everything, and follow that up by a very light white dry brush. And this just picks out the edges of all the raised areas and makes it stand out. And that's the TARDIS finished, and I can move back onto the Doctor, and starting off by painting her blonde hair. And since this colour is also a good match for the ground, I also paint the base in it. Next I added a brown wash to the hair, and this helped to separate the strands and make it stand out. The boots were painted in a dark brown, and then the trousers were painted in a medium blue. There are a lot of slightly different shades of blue on this character, so I had to mix my paint and make them slightly lighter or slightly darker, and in the case of her top, that was slightly darker. The braces were painted in a yellow, and the lower part of the braces were painted in brown. I couldn't paint every colour stripe across her chest, so I had to compromise and only use the strongest four colours. And for the coat I used an off-white, and this had both brown and blue accents which I also paint on. And once that was done I gave it a light dry brush to help bring out the highlights, but I keep forgetting that metal miniatures aren't very fond of dry brushing, as the paint will often chip and need a touch up. The final thing to add is a neat black trim around the base, and then I can seal in both items with the sealing spray. And that's the 13th Doctor plus TARDIS completed. And you may have noticed that I've not painted on the Doctor's eyes, because it's fine detail work, and if you get it wrong the model looks awful. And I don't paint my models for competitions, I paint them to use on the game table, and in that respect to the naked eye this model looks perfectly fine to me. It's only on close-up shots like this that you can see the imperfections, but since the 13th Doctor is far from my favourite incarnation, it's not going to see a lot of time on the gaming table. But the TARDIS however will, which is the reason why I bought this set in the first place. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.